But the fact that you was like at a top D1 athletic school that damn near was like a pro school set up and working those rigorous hours and doing all that stuff and like preparing for that and not knowing what it is, but the fact that you got in there was like crazy to me. I'm like, oh snap, Langston might be the one. Like I think he did it.
I just gotta get it, I just gotta get it, I just gotta go. I just gotta flip it, watch the money grow.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Dear Radio. It's your boy, Dear LeBrankston, back again with my other co-host, Dear Michael. As you can see, we are in a wonderful establishment at one of our other studios that we built off the grid, man, off the grid. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How you doing?
Doing good, man. It's always good to see you. Always good to record another episode. It's unfortunately we don't have TKD2 Gaming here tonight or Dear Siege, obviously because they're in different states. But we just wanted to kind of come on the show today and kind of talk about some topics that we wanted to speak about, and because we got some big events coming up soon, and in Dear Radio world and in our real life. So
what's the big event?
You want me to talk about it?
No, just in your real life.
Oh, in my real life, I mean, my birthday's coming up.
Okay.
You know, the big 2/8, unfortunately.
Okay. That's May what? May.
Dang, that's crazy. Put you on the spot.
May 4th.
Yeah, May 4th. Yeah, bingo. Yeah, he got me. What about you? You got anything big coming up in your life?
Yeah, man. My birthday's coming up soon.
Yeah, it is.
Man, I mean, just glad to be here.
Yeah.
You know, being alive, I think is a great opportunity.
Yeah, you know it's a good thing, bro.
You feel me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, other than that, I mean, we just got a lot of things rolling, cooking up. I believe we're on the right trajectory as far as what we want to be doing. I know things always get hectic, but other than that, just trying to sketch around things and prevail. I think that's, the best way we can do it. Again, like LeBron said, obviously we don't have Dear Siege and Dear TKD2. We're obviously trying to do more important person things for you all because the audience has been obviously recommending it and they want to see this kind of form of content. Langston and Brankston and I are the closest ones in proximity to each other, so we have more of an opportunity to get it done. But the goal is to definitely get everybody in here.
Eventually we'll get. I'll probably have Siege right here on that spot because I don't want TK right there. We'll put TK right over there on that other spot.
Yeah, my boy. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll put him next to me. But I mean, those guys are tremendous. They're killing it. Anytime we call them to do anything, they always show up and they're prepared for whatever we need done. And towards the summertime, we want to plan on having us in some form or fashion, have more in-person shows where, we just get together and giving out more positive, impactful content and just fun content. So that's the goal. But other than that, I think we're just ripping and running. Shout out to those guys again. And I mean,
shout out.
Dear Radio has some great things. I think we're in season 6, about to be over season 7 starting in April. So
yeah, I mean, we're
finishing
pretty
up.
much at almost 70 episodes by the time we're recording this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is right.
Because I don't know when exactly this one will come out, but
this
is probably the number 70 that we're recording right now. But again, like
70.
we don't know when we're gonna upload it.
This is probably 70. Yeah, man. But it's been cool. I think obviously what was it 2025?
It is 2025.
Shout out to that. We're in 3rd month of that. It's January felt very, very slow. February went very, very quick.
February went by like that.
And then we're here in March. So I mean we're in a good position right now. We got 9 months left to try to maximize all the possibilities we can, opportunities. So again, man, this is a new setup. Hopefully y'all see more of us in here, maybe with some guests, obviously with some of the co-hosts as well. And we're having fun doing this for you all. So 2025, back to that. Obviously we talked a little bit back behind the scenes of this is now our 10-year anniversary of being in high school.
It's crazy.
We're we're approaching 28 now. We obviously graduated 18. And did you imagine where you're at right now? Was this like the picture that you imagine your life would be, or was there something planned in 2015 that you're like, 10 years I'm gonna be this, or I know I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna build a trajectory like this and reverse engineer, or is it matching to the standards that you kind of set for yourself?
So it's funny, right? Because it's like obviously when you're in high school, you have some sort of idea of what you want to be and what you want to do, and you think life is just gonna be this perfect pathway of where you're gonna go.
Uh-huh.
And then like I got 3 younger brothers, but the 2 youngest are about 9 and 11 years old, or differences in age. So like one of them just went off to college, and it's funny because I can see it like a little bit of how I thought I see a little bit of myself in him in terms of he's like, well, I'm going to go to college and do this and this, and it's going to be easy. I'm going to do that. And then he gets to college and he's like, oh, this is a lot different. This isn't how I planned it out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was. Obviously, different type of scenarios, but I mean, life is full of different trajectories. Like you might go north and then the wind might take you south or east or west. And you just kind of have to adapt to it. But
Yeah.
to answer your original question, like, no, I did not expect to be exactly where I was or where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I would have been moving across different jobs still in Lexington,
Yeah.
and doing a podcast with you and our boys, I would have been like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're freaking crazy. Because like me and you were close in high school, but
Yeah.
we were never like, oh, let's do this, let's do that.
Facts.
It was more of like, yeah, let's get to UK and see what our next step is. Or
Nah.
it,
It was more like Link. I need help with his homework.
yeah,
Can you
yeah. I
help
mean,
me?
yeah, that too. But then also that one time you're like, "Hey, bro, come on, let's take a tour at UK."
That's a fact.
I was like, "Bro, like, why?" And you're like, "I don't know. I just don't want to be in class."
Facts.
So me, you, and
Facts.
Janus just went up for we didn't even do an official tour. We just did our own tour.
Oh
You remember that?
yeah. I remember that now.
Because we parked at the garage on
Yeah.
top of the
Yeah.
library, and then you're like, "Man, forget this. Let's go to the mall." And I was like, "All right, cool. Let's go to the mall."
Hey man, I was a different high school
I know,
kid.
but we did see. I think that tour we saw Aaron Harrison
I think
walking
maybe
around campus. Yeah, around like Funkhauser. Yeah,
we was at. Was that 14 or was that was 15 still?
that was 15.
That's
Yeah,
what-
because it was spring. Because I
Yeah.
think it was right when I think it's when all of us got like accepted,
Okay.
and we already took like previous
Okay,
visits,
okay,
and then
okay.
you were like,
Let's just
you're like,
get
come
about
on,
it.
bro, we got 3 visits. We got to
Yeah,
use up.
yeah,
You might as
yeah.
well get out of class. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll do it.
I was just trying to get about it there,
I
man.
know
I was
you
ready
were,
to
I know.
graduate. You know, one of them days. What is it called, senioritis?
Senior,
High
yeah, you
school.
had that by like junior year.
Yeah, definitely. I know on day one of senior year, I was like, just like dreading it.
Yeah,
And I know we had a mutual friend that was like, yo, what's wrong with you? I was like, bro, we have 108 days left. It's like, I can't believe that I got to
Yep.
sit here for days. He's like, you know how many days we got? It's like, have fun. I said, nah.
yeah.
I
No,
got here,
you were
dog.
out there. You were.
You know,
You were avoiding class. You were in the guidance counselor's office
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hanging out.
and perfect attendance still.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
kids out there, if you're in high school, the goal is to obviously do your work, show up on time, and just get real good graces with, you know, the people that have authority in school, like the principal, like the guidance counselors, like the attendance clerks, and the nurses. And make sure, you know, they like you,
You
you're
went to the
enjoyable.
nurse?
Not often.
I never went to the nurse.
Yeah, not
I
often.
didn't even know we had a nurse.
I don't think I maybe stopped by to check on some people, but I've never really had any faults of myself to be able to go in there and get checked on or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
always leaving school, so
Always.
that was just my thing. But hey, listen, I did my work, did things I needed to do, and I was attentive to our students. So I was kind of part of the faculty, you know, in a way.
Yeah, basically.
But anyways, moving past that, yeah, I mean we're definitely on that trajectory. You had a crazy senior year. Like, what happened in your senior year? What, like,
Dude, senior year was crazy. So, like, going into my junior year, I don't know if I've ever told you this story or if you knew about it, but going into my junior year, ending my junior year, my mom redeployed into the Army. They got stationed out at Fort Benning. I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, I ain't going. I was like, I don't want to move my last year.
Georgia.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Georgia, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stay in Kentucky, finish out my high school. And the original plan was I was going to graduate because we were on the trimester format instead of semesters. I don't know why the heck we did that. But I was going to graduate that first trimester
Yep.
and get up out of there because I was doing online classes in the in school the ISS in school suspension room. You remember on top where all the computer
the
labs
gym.
are? Yeah, above the gym, above the cafeteria.
Yeah.
So I was doing classes in that like my last 2 blocks of the day, just like finishing out my classes, but just BSing around because I was basically already done.
Yep.
And then towards the end of that trimester, I was like, nah, mom, like I ain't leaving. Like I want to stay here, finish out my last 2 trimesters, which I'm glad I did because I don't know what would have happened if I left Georgia because I would have been done with high school before, or I would have graduated high school before like December. So I ended up finishing up my last 2 trimesters at John Hardin High School where we went to school.
Mhm.
Finished that out. Loved it, every single part of it. Luckily I got all my core classes done, so pretty much the rest of the year I was taking like 2 gym classes a day,
Mm.
just like playing basketball, lifting, whatever it may be. Did that. Went to all the home and away football games, basketball games. I went to a lot. One, we did the superlatives. One,
Yeah, yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Team
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Spirit.
yeah, yeah.
Because I would like paint up and do all this stuff.
Was it senior year when y'all doing the broadcasting event
Yeah,
stuff? Okay,
yeah.
I
So we
know that
did.
junior or senior.
We posted a picture. It's still on my Instagram. We did the. Are you talking about the ESPN
Yeah,
picture we
yeah,
did?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we did.
Tough.
We made like a little poster board that said ESPN, and I brought my Xbox headset with.
Crazy.
I think our guy Otis was there. We wore like some nice jackets and
Was
just
was that
brought.
a real game or was that
Yeah,
like
yeah, it
a?
was a real basketball game. I think it was
It's
one of the girls' basketball
crazy. Oh,
games.
okay, okay, okay. It's crazy.
Because we were doing it like front row of the bleachers and just comment. We actually commentated. I wish we kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
recorded
did. That's why I was like, yo, was it? I thought it was the we had a little senior game stuff
Yeah.
at the end of the year was like
Oh no,
seniors.
no,
For, I
no, no,
mean,
I was playing in that one.
okay, that's what I thought. I was like, did he do it for that? But
Yeah,
you did it in a
no, it was
real
for a
live
real.
game.
I'm pretty sure it was a girls' game.
That's crazy. If we had TikTok, that
It
would have
might have
blew
been
up.
homecoming.
It might have been
I
homecoming.
think it was
It might have been
homecoming. Yeah, so
homecoming.
we did that. That's still on my Instagram. Shout out my boy Otis. That was fun. That was a
Crazy.
fun day.
Crazy.
Yeah, did all that stuff. Painted up for football games. Was soccer manager.
Yeah.
Made it pretty far in regionals. Ended up losing in regionals. And then I don't think I did anything for baseball or softball or anything like that. But then like got all my college applications ready, applied for the training athletic training program at UK
Yep.
for the undergrad, got into that, and then started working with them. I think end of July, and then started school in like August because we did summer camp early, and that was pretty much my whole senior year. Went by in a
And
flash.
and talk. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did go by pretty quick. Talk about that though, right? Because I'm still um, appalled at how you got into that program. Because imagine it's 33,000. Like imagine it's 33,000 students that go at that time at UK. I don't know how many now. It might be 36, 37 now.
Too
but
many.
Too many. By the time we got inducted in, accepted in, I'm not sure. I think our senior class was like 200 people, something like that.
Yeah, it was like maybe 205.
Half of our class went to UK. Half of them went to Louisville, and then the other, maybe a small percentage went to WKU, and the other ones just went out of state.
Yeah.
Or didn't go to school, and they
Or
decided
like
to go
military.
jobs. Yeah, military. But the fact that he applied and got into the program of UK athletics as an athletic trainer was beyond me. I'm like, how in the world you do that? And he's like, I mean, I just fly. I was like, nah, I don't. It don't work just like that. But
Not in my life.
like you say, I think it was interesting to see that because like you open up a different world for yourself because that's what you always wanted to do. I mean, looking back to what you planned on doing, but the fact that you was like at a top D1 athletic school that damn near was like a pro school set
Yeah.
up and working those rigorous hours and doing all that stuff and like preparing for that and not knowing what it is, but the fact you got in there was like crazy to me. I'm like, oh snap, Langston might be the one. Like I think he did it.
It was cool, man.
How was that? Like, how was from you getting accepted to graduating UK? Like, how was that whole athletic training during the pre-college to post-college or during college?
So, first and foremost, just like going through the whole application process was easy until I got up to the interview process and had to drive up to Lex and do a whole interview at the stadium or at the facility. But it was cool because like during the interview process, I was walking around. They were giving us tours, and some of the football players were in there. They were talking to us while we were on our interviews. Shout out to my guy, if you're listening to this, Marcus McWilson. I remember him vividly just running around, talking to all the applicants who were in there. And then we went and it was like me and like 5 other athletic trainers who were on like staff that we did interview and did that. Was pretty nervous. I mean, that was probably my second ever interview I did because I had a first job. No, 2 job interviews before that actually at the Fun Zone that you worked at. And then at Firehouse Subs. I don't know if you ever knew that.
Firehouse? Like,
Yeah, I had a job interview at Firehouse Subs. Didn't get it.
Firehouse Subs. Where was that at?
It was over by the Qdoba on Ring Road near that Walgreens and the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But then ended up doing that, and I remember sitting at the cafeteria table one day, and I get a phone call. I'm like, oh shoot, it's a Lexington number. Like, I need to answer it. And then someone who I consider my mentor till this day and like really helped me guide me through the whole process of everything. My dear friend Taylor Spiker, shout out. She called me and was like, yeah, we looked at your resume. We loved your interview. Do you want the position? And like high school me was like, yeah. And she's like, are you sure? You sound very hesitant. I was like, no. Like, I really want this job.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, like, we're going to send you all this stuff. Like, make sure to fill it out, like, sign off on everything. I was like, cool. Didn't really know what I was expecting. Like, I knew somewhat of the job. And I was telling Mike Hell this the other day. It was probably, I got up there maybe 3 or 4 days after I was like, I can't do this, man. Like
Mm.
I'm ready to quit. But then I was talking to another close father figure to me who I was staying with my senior year while my parents were down in Georgia. He was like, dude, like training camp's almost over. Just give it 2 weeks, and then if you don't like it after 2 weeks, quit.
Yeah, yeah.
But you may never know. You might actually like it. So then I pushed through it, got past all the hard stuff, because that's back when we had actual full 2 day practices with full pads, full helmets twice a day. So we were just
Mm.
gone from 6 a.m. to like 8 p.m.
Yeah, yeah.
Finished training camp. I was like, oh, this is cool. You know what? I might as well stick it out a year. Then ever since then, never looked back. So
So that's crazy story, right?
yeah,
And obviously that's like what your mindset was at 18, and then going into I'm sure 21, it was still that, and then you had opportunity to go get your master's at USF, right?
yeah, South
And
Florida.
then you were still doing athletic training there. Then had the opportunity to go to the Raiders
Yep,
at in Vegas, the new stadium,
yep.
and do some stuff there, and then obviously went back to Kentucky to do some more stuff. Like, how was you picking these spots, or your trajectory of like, okay, well, I did this, I kind of didn't like it, but then I start liking it, and then I start having different positions in it. I'm gonna keep going to get my master's. You're still in the track of like 18-year-old. I want to be an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
So like you're on that trajectory. Like, at what point did things start to feel like it was opening up more, or you felt like, okay, I think I had enough, or is it
Yeah.
still?
So like 18-year-old me, like I didn't really know what an athletic trainer was.
Yeah,
And then because I originally wanted to be like a sports medicine doctor, like an ortho doctor.
tough.
And then failed chemistry my first semester. I was like, yeah, I ain't doing this. So then I
Oh, yeah,
bounced
yeah,
I
yeah,
bounced
yeah.
around like between different ideas, and then I really didn't figure out that I want to be a athletic trainer till my junior or early senior year
Okay.
of college, and then finally applied to USF. I'd worked with so many great teams and programs at UK during
Yeah.
my 4 years here that at the time there weren't too many schools with master's degrees for athletic training, so it was between like South Florida, EKU, and University of Minnesota at Mankato. And I really wanted to go there because they had a place with the Vikings, and I'm a huge Vikings fan. I was like, EKU's a backup. Minnesota might be too cold. Like,
Yeah.
let's go to Tampa for a little bit.
Real
It's
talk.
Tampa. Can't
Yeah,
complain.
real talk.
So went to Tampa, had great opportunities there, working with various teams at USF, a couple of D2 teams, and then got to help out with the XFL team at the time,
Mhm.
which was other pro football before it closed during COVID.
Yeah.
And then really all my connections from UK. I'm very blessed to be at that position from UK where they gave me great opportunities to build connections and
Mhm.
also work my butt off to build a good reputation.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I went to when I got a phone call from the Raiders, the guy was like, "Yeah, I know so and so. Do you want the job? I'm not even going to interview you."
Real talk.
Because he was like, "Look, like they spoke very highly of you. Do you want it?" So went out there, went back to UK, was blessed to be in another position, and now just took a different stage. Like I felt like I was very burnt out. I mean, college athletics burns you out pretty quickly depending on
Yeah.
what station you're at. But I still loved every moment of it. It
Yeah.
just got tiring. Still love athletic training, and
For
like I
real.
said, like there was one day where I was like, I love it, and then the very next day I was like, I gotta move. I gotta do something else.
10 years, man, and you're still doing
Still doing
it.
it. Still doing
It's
it.
crazy because think about it. Do you think a lot plays a part into? Because you and I talked about it a couple times. I think previously behind the scenes of just like how the academic of college, right, just worked. How you was failing, I was failing.
Dude,
I was. Go
the
ahead.
academics of college is just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's different. That's a whole different topic.
Whole different topic, right? Do you think if we would have had 3.5, 3.6 the whole time, then like the trajectory of things may have been different?
Are you talking about in college or in high
No,
school?
in college, not high school. High school, you know what I'm saying? That's a prerequisite to get somewhere.
Yeah.
But in the college, it's like a standard.
So I mean, like I finished with like a 3.5
I think I
in
finished with like a
college because
3.2.
I don't really. Actually, I do tell people a lot of people this who are like, man, I can't do school anymore. I hate it. I'm like,
Yeah,
look, like if I graduated college with a 3.4, 3.5, one of the two,
yeah,
because that's my first semester, I had a 1.6,
yeah. I didn't know
and
that.
like in academic probation is what they called it, but had a 1.6. Like my mom was like freaking out. She's like, we're about to pull you out and you're going to go to community college. I was like, give me one more semester, like I'll pull through. And then luckily I
Real
grinded my
talk.
butt off,
Real
worked very
talk.
hard. I was in the Willie T library almost every night. Shout out Willie T library.
Shout out.
And then ended up finishing with a 3.5. But I think most of it, I wouldn't necessarily say my college GPA is what mattered the most, because I think most of the time you get if you have a good college GPA, you'll get in whatever master's program you want.
Yeah.
And I think the way that high school and colleges kind of teach you right now is just don't actually learn the material, learn it to pass the test instead of actually being able to apply it. Because when I went to grad school, they were like, don't just learn the material to pass the test. Like, actually, your tests are going to be formatted to you being able to apply it. So instead of saying what's 2 plus 2, it's uh
Why does
yeah,
2
why is
equals
2 plus 2
Yeah.
equal 4?
Yeah.
So like you had to actually be able to apply it in the grad school programs and the tests, and actually be, at least in my field, very hands on to figure out solutions and problems.
Yeah.
um so yeah, man, I think if high schools can start figuring out, especially like our high school, and I didn't realize this until working in like a very like high educational high school in Lexington,
Right.
of how they learn. I'm like, man, I really wish I would have learned that way.
Mm.
To So then maybe like I would have got good grades to be a sports medicine doctor and
Mm.
go on to do all these other things. Which, like, granted, I'm a firm believer like God always has a good plan for you. So no
Yeah.
matter which way you go, like as long as you're following His plan, like you'll be on the right path anyways.
I mean, it's interesting. I definitely was out there. Academic probation's first semester. It was weird because I graduated high school with 15 college credits
Yeah,
from AP
yeah. I think
classes.
me and you were pretty similar.
Yeah, and we kind of got thrown in the fire of like we're second semester freshmen, and we're like, okay, what does that mean? Until you get into classes and you're like, oh, this
Yeah,
is kind of overwhelming. But then you obviously trying to figure out how to fight through that and get back on track, and then obviously we prevail. But my little situation where I just kind of bounced around different segments of things, and then obviously graduated a semester early, I believe.
yeah. Because you graduated December and we graduated in May.
Yeah, so that's just work. Like you said, locked in, working in, and trying to figure out what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, 10 years of that, moving into what did I want to do at my trajectory was a little different. I know I kind of had a different experience of just being able to have parents that was in the military, same as yours,
Yep.
and then being able to travel around as a young kid, where we moved from Georgia where I was born to where I go, California for I think about a year or two, Illinois, and then Indiana for a while, and then South Korea for about 2 years, and then finally landed in Kentucky for a long time.
Yeah.
And then obviously went to college there, high school, whatever, and went to college. And then trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? I've seen so many things, and like kind of I gravitated towards fashion, colors, fabrics, stuff like that. So that's kind of like what I wanted to kind of grind into and figure out what that looked like. At the time, I had no idea what the world of fashion is. I kind of just knew I can personally style myself, but never knew like, oh, I can be a designer, or I can be a pattern maker, or I could do all this stuff. And then I tried to figure out what that looked like for me, and then obviously Kentucky didn't really have that. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like how do you kind of trajectory? How's your trajectory set up? So my mind at that time, 18, was like, oh, I'll work at finish line at the time. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll just work my way up the finish line, or I get a job at Under Armour or Nike or something like that, and try to be on the design team in the next 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And then like I got to my senior year of college, and we'll start doing like pattern making, just like draping classes and some tucked behind the scenes type of classes where you can kind of do little niches of fashion, but not like the full scale thing. And then I kind of just started learning more the textbooks things of what it looked like for the world of fashion, and kind of just expanded my mind a little more. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do my own thing. And that's when one of my professors was like, yeah, you should probably just do your own brand.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, and then I started failing. Moved to Atlanta, got like a mentor, started doing all that stuff, and then it's like, okay, let's figure out what this looks like. Try to launch that didn't work. Try to launch this, that didn't work. Then I kind of like honed back on like what the brand should be, and then we got like Jeremiah Kell, what it is now, still building that. But just a trajectory of obviously what I thought at 18 to where I'm about to be at 28, just like you say, totally different. We go through so many
bro.
different things. Things continue to change. We continue to evolve. We continue to want more, and I think that's just the aspect of humans, aspect of life, aspect of just where we're at the time. And it's been pretty cool other that though. I mean, we had a lot of crazy things. But just to move forward into walking back into the history of that, right? Like we're talking about John Harden. That's our high school. We went there. It was decent. Um, I had a good time as far. It was decent in the aspect of just like the experience.
Yeah.
But the people I met there was cool.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? Like obviously we had some good friendships. We had some good people we stayed in touch with. The people obviously is what you make of it for that. I've been through enough school systems to kind of know that ordeal, but to have the opportunity, right, to have a class reunion next month. Like, what does that look like to you? Like, what if I've been thinking about these things? Like, what if like John Harden And like Dear Radio, since now we're doing this Dear Radio thing, um, we did like a Dear Radio event where it's like, oh, we present this holistic view of, okay, let's come in, let's set up some things where we kind of have a podcast, maybe a sit down, maybe a walking tour of the school in the cafeteria, wherever it may be, and then try to figure out ways to incorporate the history of our 10-year personal journeys into this one word that we create for the week of that show, and have everybody that shows up be integrated into the aspect of what we build, so they feel like, oh, it's a night to remember, instead of just going by and coming to a reunion like, oh, how you doing, just showing up saying hey, instead of like kind of spending memorable time.
Yeah.
I think that's something we can kind of provide, and I think that'd be a great aspect, from my point of view of what I believe we can do. It's what we've been doing right now with all the guests we've had on. So to do that on the full effect of people that really probably would never think to even get on the podcast, to not even think of the opportunity of like, my story does matter, like, so to bring that there, like, what are your thoughts on what that could look like potentially?
So it's funny, right? Because it's like when you graduate high school, your family, your friends are like, oh, well, like you'll never talk to the people you went to high school with,
Yeah,
like ever again, like very rarely. Which I am in my situation, like I feel like my closest friends are people that I actually did go to high school with. I mean, like
yeah.
we went to high school. Janus went to high school with us. Our boy EJ went to high school with us. Shout out. Outside of TK and Siege, but even
I went to high school with them, so
yeah, we'll lump them in.
shout
But
out.
even videos,
Oh my gosh.
Siege, whatever,
Yeah,
however
you
you
said it right.
pronounce
You
it,
said it
yeah,
right. You said it right. You said it right.
sit him in the back.
Shout out to Cameron.
We all went to high school together, so I feel like we've all been pretty close. And I know I'm missing a couple people, but I didn't feel like shouting out everyone. I can't give everyone's socials out, but we've all been so close. But even there's so many other people that we graduated high school with
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm like, I wonder what they did. Like I can see how much they do on Facebook,
Mm.
but I'm not gonna like send them a Facebook message or send them the Facebook poke and be like, "Yo, what you doing?" Like, cause me, like being in high school, like I was a very people person, like got along with everyone, like
Yep.
talked to everyone. I still love to do that. So it'd be great to see. I already got. I mean, I kind of mentioned in our group chat the other day, some people that I had in mind who I believe are gonna go. Would be cool just to figure out like, hey man, like I've been following you on social media. What have you actually been up to? Like, how was your life? Like, how was this trip? How was that? So I
Yeah.
think it'd be really cool for one, just for people to see how what our high school looked like, and like how our
Yeah.
see the places that we actually roam the hallways to.
Yeah.
And you never know, because they could inspire people who are watching our show to be like, man, they went to the same high school as us and they're doing that. Like we can do that too in the
Yeah.
future. And again, just being able to get those people's stories and what they've done, because I was talking to our class president, just talking to her, potentially pitching the idea to her. I was like, like this show is us getting people's life stories on how, kind of the first question you brought up of, hey, you want to do this, but like how did you actually get there,
Yeah.
and what are the trials and tribulations that you went through.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has those, no matter if you've quote unquote made it, or if
Yeah.
you're still going through all those trials and tribulations. Everyone has a great story to figure out, hey, like, I wish I would have done that, but life took me this way and I learned a great valuable life lesson.
Yeah.
And some people don't figure that out until you actually get there and be like, well, did you learn a lesson from it? And then you
Yeah.
kind of look back and you're like, oh yeah, like that terrible month that I had was a great life lesson for me that I'm just now realizing it. So even just being able to bring people together, whether it's at a cafeteria table or a couple chairs with a couple mics and the cameras rolling, you, it might be someone telling their life story and actually
Wow.
just venting it out and just getting out, because you never know what people are going through until you spend a day in their shoes. But that's how I kind of envision it.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and you kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, very curious to see how much of the school, one, has changed, and two, to see how much of the school we have access to.
That's the big
I want
question
to see
mark.
if my locker still works. I don't know if my locker code, but we'll figure it out.
I don't even know what locker I was.
Yeah,
The fact
I
that
don't
you
remember
still,
either.
oh, I said the fact that you still know is insane.
Nah, I don't even remember. No, I remember what hallway it is, but I just don't remember. Shoot, at this point, they could have added more lockers.
I don't even think I used the locker.
I used to like maybe to store our algebra books and like our trigonometry books, because I was like, I ain't carrying this in my backpack.
I don't think I even had. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but other than that,
different.
Yeah, I never really used it that much, but that's the way I envision it. I'd love
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see like your opinion of it.
Of what the whole aspect of what the radio could be there, or just the
Yeah, yeah.
school
I
in
mean,
general.
just Deer Radio, the school, the
Yeah, man.
reunion.
I mean, it's been cool, right? Because a lot of people don't know like the back end story of how we kind of say this every time we have a new guest on. Because I'm over looking at the camera. Let me look at my boy. Um, for everybody that's watching us. We usually have a segment where like majority of the guests that we have on are usually brought on by somebody that somebody knows. For right now, sometimes it's somebody we don't know, and we kind of just loop them in, and we kind of have a good 5 minute segment of like, hey, this is who we are. You may have got brought in for this guy, but I kind of want to show you the team and why we're doing this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then to kind of have a background of, okay, this is what it is. And this kind of how it came together. And I kind of want to share that now. It's more so of, like you said, I moved to Atlanta. You graduated, stayed here. I believe TK stayed here as
Yeah,
well. He had a job. And we kind of, I would say I kind of disconnected from the group a little bit more than anybody else.
but that's also life.
It's his life, right? And then it came to a point where I was doing more stuff with business in Atlanta. I was like, oh, I was just thinking of different opportunities that I have. And we kind of just touch bases every now and then, just checking in. And I was like, well, if I do this fashion thing, like I would love to do it with my friends, but I know like they're not interested in it the way I am. So it kind of would be counterintuitive to just me strongholding these guys. Like, hey, man, just come over here. So I was like, okay, there's something that we can do together. And then obviously it was kind of built around the idea of Siege being the face, and he's doing exactly what he's doing, and he's killing it right now. And it's going to go the way we wanted to go. And I was like, well, maybe just him by himself might not be the greatest thing. So let's try to figure out how we can live it up a little more. And then obviously just being on the call with y'all, like, okay, well, it kind of make more sense since everybody already know each other. Y'all, we played the games together, and we had a background of like, let's do this show together. Like, I'm going to figure out a year plan, send it to y'all. Y'all look over it, see if it's a cool idea. And if not, then I'll scratch it. But if so, let's just run it. And then we did episode 1, terrible. Episode 2, episode 3,
Was audio messed up? Either 3 or 4. One of the
I think
audios
it
were
was
messed
3. I
up
think it was
with
3.
TK and a siege.
Oh, that's 4. That's 4.
Yeah, yeah,
And then we just kind of built off that, right? I think when you're some change in now,
yeah,
and we got to the point where we're here. So it's like to be able to push the envelope the way we are now, to even have the opportunity to just do something at John Harden is like, yo, we can really do something special for the city, do something special for the state, I think, and obviously do something for the school, because there's nothing really here for entertainment and value and tech and inspiration for kids that's 18, or let's say 16, 12 to 24, right?
yeah,
So I think that's the goal that we kind of want to push with the brand of Dear Radio. It's like, hey, how do we do this? And I think we have a good trajectory of what that looks like. So just the idea of what Dear Radio is great to have that aspect that just push the envelope forward with that, and having John Harden see what it can be. Having that opportunity, I think they'll be able to see that and be able to feel it and be able to be like, oh, okay, y'all need to just keep doing what y'all doing, because this is crazy. I think nobody's doing the things that y'all doing, and even if somebody does try to mimic it, I think we'll just be light years ahead of just ideation at that point, just to continue to move the ball forward. So the next 10 years, I would say, it's just continue just striving on that, and I think everybody will feel the presence that attends, right? The people that go there will just
yeah,
feel the presence of how that looks like, and how we can set things up, and just try to make it a joyful experience in the night to remember.
yeah.
And
And it's also something different too.
it's different.
Like I remember you texted me a couple weeks ago. You were like, what do you even do at a class reunion?" I was like, "Oh,
I had no idea,
I was
bro.
like, most people just like rent out a restaurant or go to a bar and like get a couple drinks, catch up."
It's crazy.
Because I know like a couple people who've done that, and for their class reunions,
Yeah,
and this is probably one of the first ones that I've seen who actually go back to school and have like an actual reunion. So just being able to do something a little bit different,
yeah,
that
yeah.
like nowadays you see people make like TikToks of like posting up the camera to the yearbook and then showing how they look 10 years later. Like I think this is what something we could do like very similar on a bigger aspect and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bigger scale.
Tough.
Not necessarily showing their yearbook picture, because some people might have some bad yearbook pictures. I don't even remember what mine looked like,
I look good, my
but
boy.
yeah, I mean you look good
I
every day,
know.
bro.
I try.
But just being able to be like, yo, dude, like you were you were the high school soccer athlete. Like, what are you doing now? Like, how does soccer still revolve around your life if it
Yeah,
does? Or how did this career field, or how did you even get into that career field? And we
yeah,
might notice people that we can reconnect with them and be like, oh, dude, that's super cool what you're doing. Like, big one is David Ross.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out David
Shout
Ross.
out David.
He does a lot of like anime stuff, and he's huge on social media.
Yes.
Like, I was just talking to him earlier the other day. I was like, dude, keep creating your content. I don't watch anime like that, but all your stuff that pops up on my TikTok is very
Really?
enjoyable.
Yeah.
And just for someone who went to high school with us for a very short period of time, because I don't think he was there my freshman and sophomore year. I think he came later in. I could be wrong, but just being able to see someone like that from our community, our high school, our same
Mm-hmm.
city that we grew up in is super cool. And I hope people think the same thing if
Yeah.
they're listening to our episodes and support us, just like we try to support all y'all who are doing stuff in our graduating class. And even if you're not in our class or close friend group,
We got some interesting stories to share, right? I think we got some
I got a
interesting
lot of interesting stories to share.
about.
Just everything.
Okay, we'll save that then.
Yeah.
We'll say that. We'll say that then. I think it's just been cool. I think it'd be a cool dialect of just how our show just been have like from season 4. I think we started interviews online or
Yeah.
virtual to 5, moving into it 6, moving, and then now did a couple in-person shows,
Yeah.
and that's live, and then moving into like this aspect of what looks like John Harden, and then continue the show build. I just think it'll be a good a community aspect that we can build out. But I mean, we'll see when we get there. I think whatever we set our mind to, we can do. I believe
Yeah.
the radio is set up for the right intentions. I believe, us two, C's and TK are taking it very serious. I think we are definitely pushing the envelope for what we can do and our capabilities. So I think whatever we want to do, hopefully we get to inspire people that's not doing nothing.
Yeah.
If they show up and like, I'll just be at the crib. It's like, hopefully, if they are, I'm not sure if they are, but if they are doing that, maybe, this kind of sparks them like, oh, well, maybe I can do something. And that'd be cool to just to see their evolution from there as well. So hopefully we inspire not only ourselves, not only the school, but maybe the world, and we're just doing everything we can. So I think it's pretty fun. I think it's pretty cool, and we got some good entertainment that we're gonna have coming up soon. The 10 year is crazy, just to be able to sit back and be like, dang, 10 years flew by that quick, and now we're about to sit here and be like, dang, we're finna go to a class reunion and see what's going to happen. And it's like,
Feel old.
what's the next 10 years? You know what I'm saying? 38. What's that look like?
I don't even want to think about the number. Just
I think about it every
I
day.
just want to think about my career.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I think we got big plans.
Yep.
We have a lot that we want to do and
Big
accomplish.
plans. I was talking to TK about that.
But just plans?
Just plans in general. Because
Yeah.
I mean, he's been trying to figure out a new job and his career field, and same with me too. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, if you're not feeling like there's more to life
Mhm.
and you're comfortable with where you're at, which is cool, like you can be comfortable, but you should always be striving for. There should always be something more, not necessarily more money, but like there's more to life than what a
That's-
casual 9 to 5 job
That's
is.
tough, bro. Because it's like everybody need to figure out what that is. I think that's
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
what you're saying. It's like, because something for me, like what more is, I never want to stop.
Yeah.
So like I want to continue to work until I'm dead. But that's my thing. Somebody want to be done at 60 and like just retire.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta figure out what the more is and how strong your
Yeah, and
ambition
everyone's
is.
more is going to be different.
Everybody more is
from
gonna be
each other.
different. So I do agree with you on that. I think we got a good trajectory. It's fascinating to see though, because my ambition I think rubs up on yours, and then yours rubs off on mine. I think the same with the group of TK and Siege. I think just to spearhead it. I think I seen the episode. Y'all was like, yeah, he just works too much. And I was like,
The one we just recorded.
yeah. I was like, he just works too much. It's like I don't even feel it because it's like it's a lot of your work, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody has to be able to push the envelope forward.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be crazy about this. Somebody has to want to see all the ups and downs. And somebody just had to spearhead it. I think that's why we put it together. I think we have the right combination of people, and I love what I'm doing, and I think that's probably the aspect. I think that the passion behind it is what it is, and their radio is their radio because of that. So. And not even that, just people we had on like JK was like, yo, this is a crazy show. Like, it's a cool show. Shout out JK. Shout out to all the people that's, gave us their blessing to be on the show. We appreciate you all. Obviously, we want to do part 2s if that comes about. We'll see what the best fit is for that, because we want to make sure that's entertaining and grabs the right people as well. And I think we've got a good stronghold of the city. There's a lot of historic, things out here. And
a lot of stuff.
Lexington's an interesting place. I think we get to explore that a little bit more on the deeper conscience level, and people can see just the experience we want to build here. So we got some big things coming soon. Like you always say, we need to maybe switch up some infrastructure to build out, and I think we're in the trajectory of doing that now. But I think we had a good run, man. I think we're gonna continue to do that and hopefully never stop the wheels. But
never keep on rolling.
Yeah, man. Is there anything, last thoughts, any questions, any things that kind of come to mind just about Dear Radio, just about who we are as people nowadays, like how you want to be in the next 5 years, or you want to see the show or anything like that, or you kind of
Man,
mellowed
I'm
out?
taking my life day to day.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I think looking back 10 years, like I thought I had a well drawn out plan of I want to do this, I want to be at this level, I want to be this, and then
Yeah.
obviously like life takes you wherever it takes you. So
Yeah.
the way I look at it, I just live day to day. I mean, I set expectations for myself that I want to go above and beyond every single day, but in terms of I want to be here in 5 years, I'm such a type of person where if you ask me next week, I'm like, nah, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't want to move to Minnesota. I want to stay here for another
Minnesota is
year.
shout out Minnesota, but
I
Minnesota is
freaking love
crazy.
Minnesota. I love it. I would move there in heart, either there or
Nah, you
out of
wouldn't move there,
Vegas.
bro. If you'd have did that instead of going to Tampa, bro. It's
I know,
you feel me?
but I see. Well,
Shout out,
that
I like it. I've been
I
there
like
once. I
Minnesota,
visit, but I'm not.
and
I'm not.
I'd move there in a heartbeat. But obviously, I'm a Vikings fan, so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's different.
It's
But
cool.
no, I mean, for the last couple things I'd say is just one, first and foremost, for those who listen to us and listen to every single episode and watch our social media stuff, we want to hear more from you guys. So feel free to ask us questions. Leave a comment down below on what other or whatever Spotify podcast, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever you're watching or listening to.
Yep.
Leave us a question or just a comment. We love to read those on some of the shows. We did that on our previous show, but we love to get more from you all. Do we have our email on the Instagram or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, just DM us on the Deer Radio Show Instagram, or DM LeBrankston or Deer Michael,
No,
or,
actually, it is. It is.
or send us an email
is.
too, whatever it may be. But don't be afraid to DM us, ask us questions. If you want us, if you have a scenario that you want us to read out
Yep.
on the show, like we'd love to be able to do that, just to hear more from you guys. I've been getting a lot of text messages and DMs just supporting us of the show. Like I got a text the other night after a show that we were recording, of like, oh hey man, I meant to text you. Like I've been listening to your podcast a lot recently.
For
I
real?
love it. Yeah. Usually I lie about that stuff, but that one's not a lie.
Oh man, I can tell. I can tell.
But that one's real. Like we got off doing a show the other night and looked down at my phone and had a text message from someone, and they were like, "Man, really love your show." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. Like I appreciate it. Like that's great." So if you guys have any questions or anything that wants to be addressed on the show, leave us a comment, DM us, email us, whatever it is. But
Yes, sir.
that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, I appreciate everybody. I think just to have it's cool, right? Because having an idea of going into their radio, not knowing what it is, but just having a blueprint of a year and
Yeah.
just trying to see what the year looks like doing it, and then snowballing it from quarter to quarter and just trying to build it out. And then people are like, yeah, this is cool. Oh, it's getting better. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's getting. Now we're at the point where we're still growing. We still want to change
Yeah.
things and continue to evolve, but it's like people kind of get the essence of what it is now more than ever. So it's pretty cool to see the idea go into a real actionable plan and then go into fruition to where it is now. So it's pretty cool to see everything that's going on. I appreciate everybody supporting us, from people that's getting on the show, people behind the scenes, people that just hit us up every so often. I think it's just the continuation of who we are, and I think that's just pretty cool. And then y'all see a lot more from us because we don't want to stop this, and hopefully y'all don't want to see it stopped either. So we appreciate it again. Shout out Dear Siege, shout out Dear TK. Appreciate y'all brothers for
Video
just everything.
Siege.
Video Siege, he's doing everything behind the scenes. Hopefully one of these days he may be able to be in the front scenes. Y'all may have seen. Well, he was on one episode. Yeah, he was Super Bowl.
So some terrible takes.
Some better than mine probably.
Yeah, 28-3.
Jeez, it's tough. Well, other than that, man, I mean, we having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the most important thing. And y'all just keep checking in, bro. So just continue to watch the radio show. Follow us, like, comment, subscribe. Anything that we talking, we you know what I'm saying? The next couple shows we talking a little spicy. So make sure you tap in with that. See what we talking about. Who's craziest? Who has the best polarizing ideas? Who has the best takes? Just kind of pick your favorite.
Apparently not me. A lot of people do not like my sweet and sour sauce take on TikTok.
I mean, just McDonald's is a big brand, it's like
there's a lot of McDonald's fans out there, man.
You eat it so many times throughout your lifetime.
Not like Siege. Not like Siege.
He's a different breed.
Siege is a different beast.
He's a different breed. Shout out Siege and shout out McDonald's, man. But Siege.
We'll work on
we'll
that.
work on that. We'll work on that. But I think that's really about it. I think we got everything else kind of wrapped up. We trying to do what we got to do. And again, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow their gaming channels. I think it's TKD2 Gaming.
Yep.
Make sure you tap in with him. His social media is _TKD2 Gaming. Make sure you follow that.
Correct.
And Siege is Dear Siege on all platforms except Facebook. His mom be on there. Shout out
Facts.
moms.
Shout out moms.
Shout out Siege, and shout out to all the festivities, brother. We're gonna continue doing what we're doing, and shout out LeBranston.
Shout out.
Shout out Siege, Siege, my boy. And then shout out to everybody that's locked in. Everybody continue doing your thing, and we appreciate y'all for coming in, and have a great night, and we'll see y'all for the next one. Dear Radio out.
Peace, man.